Good morning, traders. How are you? I hope you are wonderfully well. Sorry we're a bit late, guys. We've had every technical problem you can imagine. My mic wasn't working, the video wasn't working, but we're all okay now, guys. So yeah, we can crack on with the live stream. Guys, as always, we're going to look back at yesterday's trades, yeah, although it was all about the CPI release. We're going to look at today's potential trades, and we'll also look at the important news for today as well. And I don't know if you're aware of this, but there's some quite important news later on. Yeah, so we've got the Fed interest rate decision this evening. So, guys, that's basically what the whole market is looking at today. All right. What is today, I hear you ask? Today is Wednesday, the 14th of December. We're getting closer to Christmas. I hope you've saved for my present. I've got my Christmas vodka. You'll be glad to know. And I feel less guilty with vodka over the Christmas period. Yeah, it's expected. And as always, guys, A-Rod, Tom the Goat. Thank you, A-Rod. I didn't know what GOAT was until a few weeks ago, and I thought GOAT was derogatory, but it's actually greatest of all time. So thank you, A-Rod. I appreciate that. Yeah, and then like I say, guys, yeah, we're going to look back at yesterday's trades as well, all right? And guys, get as many questions in as you can. So you might be in a currency pair that you need help with. You might need help with money management, psychology, some trading techniques to help you, reading structural trends, support and resistance zones, price action, anything you would like to know about, guys. Please ask me a question. This is the time to do it. All right. So yeah, get all your questions over to me, guys. Yeah, and morning, guys. And also, before I start, if you would like to join our Discord channel, then you can. The link will be in the video description. We've got lots of great traders on there sharing great ideas, guys. And we've also got a structure in place now to help you develop as a trader. All right. And we've also got some exciting things happening in the new year. So lots going on the Discord channel. Secondly, guys, don't forget the live stream. Obviously, you haven't if you're here with me now. Yeah, but we do these every Wednesday. We might start doing them more frequently also in the new year. But it's Christmas. So yeah, every Wednesday, 6:30 a.m. London GMT. But you know that because you're here. And then thirdly, guys, if you would like to be mentored one-on-one with myself, then drop us an email. All the information for all of these things are in the video description. Okay then, guys. So I guess let's start with the reaction of the CPI data yesterday. So let's look at Euro US dollar. Okay, this would be a good chart to start on. All right, so let's drop down to the H1 chart. So as you can see, guys, CPI yesterday was worse than expected. And therefore, we had a huge weakness in the dollar. All right, so the euro became stronger, the dollar became weaker, guys. And that obviously happened across all of the major pairs. So yeah, it will be interesting to see what happens today, guys. So with the Fed interest rate decision, it'll be interesting if it can still go up further or it will start coming back down, guys. So yeah, all eyes are on that news this evening. All right. So yeah, the CPI, yeah, really gave the dollar some weakness yesterday. All right. But again, we'll look at the news today. What else do I want to show you before we start? Yeah, let's look at some of the some of the yen pairs, sorry, from yesterday, guys. Okay, got a quick question before we do. Would you get in on the retest or break of previous highs or previous lows? Good question, A-Rod. Generally, it depends. It depends on a lot of things, to be honest with you. But generally, I wouldn't. I would wait for a break of a low or a break of a high, and then I would wait for a retrace. Okay, so that's normally how I would trade it. But I would trade the break of a high or low if I could place my stop in a position that wasn't a million miles away, if that makes sense. So Let's try and look for an example. Okay. I don't know. Okay, so let me try and find an example, guys. Okay, so this is a good example. Yes, that's a good question, A-Rod. I like this question. So this is Euro US dollar. So let's take a quick look at this. So A-Rod was asking me, basically, once we get a break of, let's say this was the last low that we were paying attention to. All right. So we have had, and let's say we're looking for shorts. Okay. So prices clearly use this as an area. And this is the last low. All right. On the H1 chart. And then price comes down. Okay. And this candle, yeah, breaks the low. All right. It breaks this low. So A-Rod's question is, would I trade that immediately? And in this scenario, the answer is no. All right. And let me explain why. Because for me, if I trade here, guys, if I trade on the break of this candle, yeah, if I enter here, yeah, realistically, you know, there's not many places I can put my stop. Yeah, you could perhaps put it halfway up here. Yeah, maybe halfway up here or even up here. This is where we logically have to think of stop losses. Yeah, we could use moving average 20. We could put it above the moving average 20. But the reason why I wouldn't trade this break straight away at this price is because of that. There's no logical place to put my stop loss. So normally I will wait for a retrace. Okay. And then I will wait for a bearish candlestick like this one. Okay, and then this will be my trigger to start taking price lower. All right, so yeah, it depends, A-Rod. So it depends on where we break. If, for example, we look at this break now instead, let's say we're still looking for shorts and we get a break of these lows again. Yeah, so this is a candle. This has broken the lows. This candle I could enter on, because I know there's a logical place where I can hide my stop, and that is here, these last swing highs. Yeah, these last swing highs here. So it depends on where can I place my stop, A-Rod. Yeah, it depends entirely on that. I need to think of the downside first. I need to hide my stop. So that depends on how I trade a breakout. Okay, so I hope that helps. Another technique, guys, is also this. If I do trade this, okay, I will only, let's imagine my trade size is 100K normally. Okay, yeah, let's say my trade size is 100K. This is quite a large candle. Yeah, yeah, and this area from here to here will be quite a large stop loss. All right, this is where I put my stop loss. So what I would do, I break my trade up into two parts. Yeah. Soon as we get a break of these lows, yeah, I can enter 50K. Yeah. So half of my trade. Okay. And then when price retraces up to here, for example, I can then enter another 50. Okay. So still only trading 100K, but I've broken my trade up into two trades. First one here, second one on a retrace, and my stop loss is still here. Okay, and then we can take price lower. All right. As you can see here, guys, I mean, I'm just literally just stumbled across this, but as you can see here, our stop loss would have held, and then we still got a bit of a move lower as well. All right, so that's how I would trade breakouts, depending on where you put the stop loss. And I'd also break up my trade into two halves. Okay, all right, so I hope that helps you with that. Eric, hello traders. Hello, Eric. Euro, New Zealand dollar. Let's take a look at that pair now for you. 1 second. Euro, New Zealand. I'm still getting used to the software, guys. Bear with me. All right. So again, all right. So let's do a top-down approach, Eric. Okay. So Euro, New Zealand. I always do a top-down approach, guys. I suggest you do the same. It gives you a really good overview of the pair and prepares you for every eventuality. And you also understand why certain price could be happening, because you have that bigger, higher time frame view. So Euro New Zealand weekly chart. All right. So as you can see, let me just move this down here. Okay. As you can see, guys, on the weekly chart, it is clearly in an uptrend. Okay. You don't have to be Warren Buffett to see that. Okay. So we've got higher highs and higher lows. All right. So weekly, we're in an uptrend. All right. Then we need to look at possible areas of support and resistance. And this is one for me. Okay, so this could potentially be an area here. This is a diagonal support level. So price could find some resistance here, some support here before it comes back up. Okay, so that's what we're potentially seeing here. And then if we look at the candlesticks on this, guys, look how negative these weekly candles are. All of this is selling pressure. Yeah, negative candle, negative candle, negative candle, negative candle. I mean, very negative candles, negative candle. So all of these candles are telling me to short this market. And look at the buying candles. Buying candle, non-existent. Buying candle, non-existent. It'll be interesting to see what this candle does, especially today with the interest rate decision later, but also how it closes at the end of the week. This blue line was actually a target for this pair to short, and it literally just hit this target. But on the weekly, it is in an uptrend, but we're seeing lots of selling pressure. Yeah, with these candles. Yeah, sellers are in control of this market on the weekly chart. Okay, so let's now look at the day chart. Let me remove this line because that's been and gone. So then we're going to drop down to the day chart, guys. All right, and then what are we seeing? Okay, so firstly, yeah, let's look at structure. So structurally, we are clearly in a downtrend. Yeah, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. And we still have lower lows with this candle here. And this was a short idea from a couple of days ago. So trend is in a downtrend on Euro New Zealand dollar, guys. All right. Now we're going to look for potential support and resistance areas for this pair. Okay. So historically, okay, that could affect this pair. All right. So really, guys, the two pieces of interest are here. This last high, yeah, where price reacted. Okay, you can see price reacted at this last low, comes resistance, came lower. And then I would also say these last lows here, okay, because it looks like we're having a bit of a reaction and a bit of buying pressure here. Okay, so this is what I'm seeing here. Okay, it reacted quite bullishly at this level. All right, not only did we have a bullish candle here, but we've also had this wick that's pushed up as well yesterday. It was on the back of news, but I'm seeing some buying pressure here. So what would I do with Euro New Zealand dollar? To be honest with you, because of the weekly chart, it's going to find an area where it wants to push higher. All right. But if we zoom out, we have two ways of trading this. So depending on how the news goes today, if price comes shooting down, breaking this low, yeah, I still think we have room down to this diagonal support. Okay. If price breaks above this last high and therefore a structure change, yeah, we would then have higher highs, then I think we can start buying the Euro New Zealand because of the weekly time frame is also in an uptrend. So today, because of the news, it's going to be a little untradeable. So we need to see the reaction from this news today. Okay. So yeah, because if we zoom in, guys, if I zoom in, you can see there's lots of indecision here. Yeah, it's just up, down, up. Yeah, there's a lot of indecision here. So let it break this indecision. Yeah, can come up here, look for longs, break this low, we'll look for shorts. Okay, Eric, so I hope that helps you with Euro New Zealand. It's at a precarious point right now, and we need to see what the next strong candle tells us. Okay, and it would depend heavily on the news today. Right, Eric, I hope that answers your question. Okay, so a couple of people are looking at pound Japanese yen. Morning, John. How are you? Snoop. Morning, Snoop. Snoop Dogg. I should have been a rapper. I'm an excellent rapper. Could you please make a video on candlestick patterns and how to trade them? Okay, Snoop, we will do that for you. If you join the Discord channel, Snoop, we will do a candlestick pattern tutorial video for you. Okay, my editor is writing this down as we speak. We will do that for you, Snoop, but we will put it in the Discord channel. Obviously, I can't do it today. We'll do that for you. Morning, Fapello. How are you? You're welcome, A-Rod. Syrah, yeah, it's all about the news today. Going to be super volatile. Tony also wants pound Japanese yen. Morning, Tony. How are you? Morning, Song. All right, guys. So let's look at pound Japanese yen because A-Rod and Tony would like to look at this pair, and it's a potential trade idea for today. So what beautiful synergy. So let's look at pound Japanese yen. Okay, so where are we? Pound Japanese yen. Let's make this bigger. So guys, yeah, as you can see, this gray zone is important to me. Yeah. So this is what we're looking at now, guys. So this is the day chart. All right, let's take a quick look at the weekly chart. All right, so yeah, on the weekly chart, guys, these highs we're trying to hold. We had this wick here, but then we had this green candle that potentially told us we were off to the upside, but then sellers came in and took control. Look at this red candle here. Okay, so it totally dwarfs this green candle before it. So it told me sellers had taken back control of this market. Okay, and then we've had just a bit of a range, really. All right. Okay, so that's what we're seeing on the weekly chart. We'll see this range more clearly on the day chart, guys. So this range, I'm drawing another grey zone here. Has basically been between these two grey zones. All right. Price has found itself in this range. So price was in an uptrend. Yeah. Higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. But then, like I say, that weekly candle really pushed price back down. Okay. We didn't create lower lows, but we were creating lower highs. Okay. And then we eventually created a lower low. And then ever since this low here, price has just been ranging. All right, so we can trade this range, guys. Yeah, you can trade a range. I mean, I'm more of a trend trader, but you can trade a ranging market. Yeah, obviously sell here, sell here, sell here, buy here, buy here. All right, so we can trade this. So that's what I'm seeing. This grey zone's important. And also, guys, we've had this very bearish candle form at these last highs in this grey zone. This is a bearish engulfing candlestick pattern. All right. So just by looking at the day chart, I think we could take price back down to this grey zone. All right. These last lows here. Okay. So just by looking at the day chart, obviously it depends a lot on what the news does tonight, guys. Yeah. The Fed interest rate's going to send everything buck wild, crazy, doolally, loco. So let's take a look, guys. So I've now look at the weekly chart, look at the daily chart to give you your bias. Yeah. To tell you, can I short this pair? Can I long this pair? Or should I stay the hell out? Okay. Those are your three options when you look at the higher time frames. Yeah. Yeah. Once I look at weekly, daily, should I long it? Should I short it? Should I stay the hell out? These are my three options. Keep it simple. All right. And now I'm looking at this. I think we can short this pair. And for the reasons I just explained, this is a trade idea for today. One of two. So now we're going to drop down to the lower time frames, guys, because we want to see how we can refine our entry and how we can trade it. All right, so let's drop down to the H4 chart. So the H4 chart, guys, again, I'm looking at three things. I'm looking at structure, support and resistance, and what the candlesticks are telling me. Okay, so let's look through that. So first of all, structure. On the H4, it is clearly still in an uptrend. Yeah. And these last lows here haven't broken. Yeah, they're trying to hold on to this level. Excuse me. All right, so structurally, this is what I'm seeing. I'm now going to draw in some support and resistance that we're seeing as well. So as I just highlighted, this lower level here is a potential area of support. Yeah, it's been acting as support for this pair. All right, and then obviously we've got our larger grey zone up here. So this level here is obviously where price has reacted, and this is an area of resistance. All right, so that's what I'm seeing on the H4. And then also, guys, candlesticks. I mean, we've come up here and we've had a lot of indecision, and then we've had a boom downwards. I know this was news driven, okay, but we've had a real negative reaction at these highs, okay, and buyers buying candle here, got a bit of a wick on this candle. Yeah, buyers are still in control of this market on the H4 in terms of candlesticks. Okay, now we're going to drop down to the H1 chart, and then we're going to see how things look here. So yeah, this grey zone that I drew on the H4 is an important level. So firstly, we could trade this by doing, sorry guys, just got a fly, and I didn't get it. So first of all, guys, we can trade it like this. So this grey zone is an important grey zone. So what could happen is a break of this grey zone, and therefore a break in H4 structure as well. Okay, come back up, and then we could start shorting this pair. All right, so I think this would be a good trade idea for today. Okay. Secondly, yeah, we could trade it if price comes back up, because this is the last H1 high, guys. So let me draw this in. Yeah, it's only a small grey zone, but this is the last H1 high. So price could come back up to here. Again, we get a negative reaction, and we could start taking price lower. I would probably close 80% here and then leave 20% to run. Yeah, apologies for my 80. I've been drinking vodka. Okay, so we could do that as well, guys. I think potentially we could also have a bit of a retrace higher. You know, potentially back up into this grey zone, perhaps these last lows here. All right, and then we get a reaction lower. The problem with this one is I would not be with H1 structure. Okay, so for me, the best trade idea with this pair is a break of this, retest, and then we can start coming lower. If price does come up to here, then perhaps I want to see a breakdown in M15 structure, or even a breakdown in H1 structure. But obviously a breakdown in H1 structure would take time. All right, but yeah, I would be looking for shorts on the pound Japanese yen, and these are the different levels that I'm looking at. Let's put this level in as well, just so you can see it, guys. Yeah, but this last level here as well. Okay, so this level, get a reaction, come lower. This level, get a reaction, come lower, or even a break of this and then come lower. Out of all the trades, I like this one best. Okay, but shorts for pound Japanese yen, guys. That's what I'm looking at. And this is a trade idea for today, guys. So put that in your pipe and smoke it. Next one. Thank you, A-Rod. Yeah, let's get as many likes as we can. And also, guys, if you're enjoying this analysis, then come join us. Yeah, subscribe to the channel, smash that notification button, and also smash the like button. It helps me give you this analysis every morning. What else we got here? Thanks. Yeah, so Fuad, a regular to the channel. Hi, Fuad. How are you? I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Moving average 20. How do I use the moving average 20? It's a good question. So let's look at it here. All right. So moving average 20 in a trending market could become support or resistance, dynamic support or resistance. So this here, guys, as you can see, price is just ranging. Okay. And it's just ranging with the moving average 20. But when we get a break away from the moving average 20, like we do here, and then price comes back down, the moving average 20 can become a good area for support if we're looking to long it, or it can become a good area for resistance if we're shorting the market. Okay, so as you can see, price has come down here. Now it could potentially become an area of resistance, and we can take price lower. So first and foremost, I use it as dynamic support or resistance, and that's the only indicator I use, moving average 20. Okay, or we can use it as this, guys. So perhaps if we look at the day chart, let me show you a different currency pair, New Zealand Canadian dollar, because I know this is really overbought. So my moving average 20 is here. Okay, you can see how far price is away from my moving average 20. So it also tells me if something is very overbought or oversold, because it's just so far away from this moving average 20. And they're the two reasons why I use it. Okay, and it just helps me. Yeah, if price is below the moving average 20, yeah, generally looking for shorts. If it's above moving average 20, looking for longs. All right, so that's how I use that for WAD. What else are we looking at today? Mohammed Rashwan. Again, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Can you have a look at Euro Aussie dollar? Yes, I can, sir. No problemo. Let's take a look. So, Euro Aussie dollar. All right, so let's, again, guys, we're going to do a top-down approach. So we're going to start with the weekly chart. All right. Basically, yeah, price is in an uptrend. Okay, so we've got higher highs. Yeah, higher highs. The lows were, yeah, we didn't have lower lows or higher lows, but we have had higher highs. So structurally, we're in an uptrend. But then you can see here, guys, we're clearly in a box of indecision. Yeah, this is a clear box of indecision. All right. So when I see these boxes of indecision, I need someone to tell me who is the winner. Are buyers the winner or are sellers the winner? So if we get a strong candle out of this box to the upside, I will buy it. Yeah. And I will probably buy this market up to these last highs. If I get a move to the downside, yeah, I will start shorting this as well. Okay, potentially back down to these lows here. All right, but it really depends on the weekly chart what happens with this box of indecision. There are no winners at the moment. You've got sellers, buyers, sellers, buyers, sellers, buyers, sellers, buyers. Yeah, and just absolute indecision in the market. So that's what I'm seeing on the weekly chart. Now we're going to drop down to the day chart. Okay, and again, what are we seeing? So there's a couple of important areas here. All right, so this last low's here. Okay, so this is where this pair is ranging. Yeah, it's just come up. It was clearly in an uptrend, and now it's just ranging in between these two grey zones. All right, so potentially we have room back down to this grey zone. Okay, if we're trading the range. So we could short this pair, okay? But let's take a look at the candlesticks. So what are the candlesticks telling us? So we've had a real bearish reaction at this last grey zone. We had a bullish candle here, but in yesterday's news, we had another bearish candle. So the majority of candles in here are telling us that sellers are in control. All right. So I think we could potentially come down to this grey zone. Again, guys, it depends greatly on what the news does tonight. The news is going to have an impact on all currencies. Okay, so it depends on what the news does today. But yeah, I think we could short Euro Aussie dollar back down to these lows. Let me have a quick drink, guys. I do far too much talking these days. Refreshing vodka first thing in the morning. So that's what I'm seeing here. Let's have a look at the H4 chart. Let's zoom in a little bit. And as you can see, structure is breaking down. So it was in an uptrend until we reached our grey zone, and then price has broken down. As soon as these lows here were broken, we're in a downtrend. It came back up, tested these last highs, but has come down again. Okay, not quite breaking this low. But just looking at H4 structure, I think we can take price back down to this grey zone. Okay, Mohammed. So, yeah, I hope that helps you with your Euro Aussie dollar trade. I hope you're looking for shorts. Let me know. Morning, Kevin. Oi, 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 Savloy. How are you? Okay, so news came out. Okay, so was that pound? Yeah, inflation came out. Thank you, Kevin. Yeah, let's get the likes. Let's get the likes to 25, 200, 300. Let's get it up. Okay, Mohammed, you are shorting it. Good. You're welcome. New subscriber here. Alonso, good morning. We have a new subscriber. I like your sessions. Thank you very much, Alonso. Welcome to the channel. Also, join the Discord channel, guys. Yeah. And also, guys, if you're watching this and would like to join us, come subscribe. Subscribe to the channel. I do this analysis every single morning. Yes, A-Rod. Those boxes of indecision are my bread and butter. Yeah, so let's go back to the weekly chart. These boxes of indecision, guys. Yeah, I love these. Yeah, once we get this, as soon as we get a winner, either way, buy it or sell it. You will have a winning trade. There's no guarantees, but these boxes, yeah, it can happen on any time frame, guys. Box of indecision followed by a very bullish or bearish candle, trade it. Can you analyze US dollar, Japanese yen? Number 108 RK Books. Very unusual name. Are you a robot? You sound like C3PO. Okay, I like it. I like the name. US dollar, Japanese yen? Certainly. Yes, I can look at that for you. Okay, so US dollar, Japanese yen. Let me just find it. So the yen pairs, guys, I'm looking at, yeah, a lot of the yen pairs as I was yesterday. You remember my trade setups from yesterday were pound, Japanese yen short, US dollar, Japanese yen short, and pound, Japanese yen short. Okay, so on the weekly chart, guys, this is the weekly chart. So we were in an uptrend, clearly. Higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. But then look at the selling pressure we've had. Okay, arguably until we break these lows, we're still in an uptrend. Yeah, but look how bearish these candles are. Bearish, 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 potentially bearish. Okay, and then look at the buying candles, non-existent. Yes, although we're in an uptrend, the candles are telling me that sellers are in control of this market. All right. And I think we have a little bit more room to come down. I think we could take price back down to this area here. All right. So we still have a little bit of room into this grey zone. Okay. So that's what I'm seeing on the weekly chart. Then we drop down to the day chart. And what are we seeing? So this was one of my trade ideas from yesterday, guys. Okay. So on the day chart, we're clearly seeing a downtrend. You don't have to be Warren Buffett to see this as a downtrend. And then it came back up and it's been finding a bit of resistance at this level. Okay. We love, 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 love this pattern. Yeah. What was once support? Yeah. Once support, when it breaks, it becomes resistance. Okay. So we love this pattern. I love this as much as I like a box of indecision. Yeah, and that's saying something. I really like boxes of indecision. So this pattern sets up on every time frame, time and time again. It's very tradable, very profitable. If this was your only strategy that you traded this pattern, you would make money. All right. So yeah, let me just show you that one more time because I really want to iterate the point. What was once support, support, when it breaks becomes resistance, resistance. All right. So this was why I was looking to short this pair yesterday, because it was in this grey zone and a real interesting area to look for shorts. Okay. And then yesterday's candle, yeah, just confirms what we were thinking. It was news driven, but I still think we have a bit of room back down to these last lows. And then even this grey zone here as well, that weekly support level. Okay, so that's what I'm seeing on the day chart. Let's take it down to the H4 because I'm going to show you how or if I traded this pair yesterday. So let's drop down to the H4 chart. What are we seeing here? We're now seeing a break in H4 structure. Okay, so price found some support here. Okay, put the H4 in an uptrend. Yeah, we had this area here of lower, higher lows, and then came back up to here, tested these last highs, and then news driven shot back down. But this low of this candle has broken these lows here. So H4 is also in a downtrend. So today I'd be looking for a retrace and then a move back down lower. Okay. And finally, guys, let's take a look at the H1 chart to see how we can refine our entry. So yeah, again, we need our grey zones to see potential areas that we could trade from. Okay. And this is quite a large grey zone, but a grey zone nonetheless. All right. So yeah, let's draw this out a little bit. Okay, so this is my grey zone. Because how do I plot grey zones? Well, I'm just looking for where price reacted. Simple as that. And price reacted here, 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 and here. Okay, so this grey zone price, this is a box where price reacts. Yeah, historically, it's told us this. So this would be a good area to start shorting this pair. All right. So if we zoom back in now a little bit, what I want to see, guys, is this, is a move back up into this grey zone. I'd want to see a bearish candlestick pattern form. I would enter the trade and then I would take price back down to here. This would be my first target. This is where I would close 80% of my trade and then I would let 20% run. Okay, so that's what I would be looking for today. Yesterday, guys, this was also a trade idea, but obviously all this didn't happen before I was looking at it. Okay, so I was looking at this. It's difficult to zoom in when you have such big bearish candles. But remember, guys, from yesterday, what I wanted to see was a breakdown in H1 structure. So once price got up to here, yeah, I wanted to see a breakdown in H1 structure. And we got it. Once these lows were broken with this candle here actually broke the lows. But it was literally before the news release. So I can't trade that. I would be gambling. As much as the news took price whipping down, the news could have made price go up 300 pips. Yeah, we don't know. But before the news come out, you could tell that it wasn't creating higher highs. This is always a red flag that price is exhausted. It's not making higher highs and then eventually price breaks down. Okay, with this candle here. And then news, yeah, makes it go crazy. But yesterday, guys, because of the news, I didn't have a trade on US dollar, Japanese yen, pound yen, or New Zealand Japanese yen. But for all of the yen pairs, if you ask me how I would trade them today, I would short them. Okay, we're seeing yen strength at the moment. I would start shorting these pairs. All right, so yeah, I hope that helps you, number 108R-K books. Okay. Okay. Song, I'm glad you enjoyed my joke. Gail Godot has requested Euro US analysis. Well, Kev, if she's requested it, who am I to reject her? Okay, so Euro US dollar. Let's take a look at that for today as well. All of the pairs today, first and foremost, because of the news yesterday and the news coming out today, are difficult to read and difficult to trade. Yeah. To be honest with you, you're probably better off sitting on your hands until the Fed interest rate decision comes out. However, I know Kev and Gal Gadot are both scalpers. So you can probably get in and out of a trade before, the big news is released. All right. But if you're a swing trader, guys, let the news come out, let it react, let the dust settle, then trade. All right. But Kev, Gal Gadot, this is for you. Weekly, things are overbought. This is my first thing that I see with this chart. Okay. But price was clearly in a downtrend. Yeah. You don't have to be Warren Buffett. And then ever since we've broken this high and even this high, we have been in a weekly uptrend. The problem with this weekly uptrend, guys, for me, it's so overbought. As you can see, I use my moving average 20 here as an indicator to tell me how far price is away from it. And price is so far away from it. Okay. So I'm going to put my neck on the line here. Okay, I could be shot down in a blaze of glory, but I'm going to put my neck on the line because things are so overbought and the dollar is so weak. The interest rate decision today and the discussions after it, okay, are going to give the dollar some strength. You'll be amazed how many times macroeconomic data, like interest rate decisions, brings a currency pair back in check. If something is very overbought or oversold, you'll be amazed how news brings it back down. Okay, put my neck on the line there. Let's see what happens tonight. Don't shoot me if I'm wrong. All right, but I won't trade it. I'm just saying what the data comes out, I reckon it will start giving the dollar some strength because things are so oversold. The dollar is too weak at the moment. Yeah, it was only a few weeks ago that the dollar was the most strongest thing on the planet. Yeah, stronger than Arnold Schwarzenegger, stronger than Superman. So, we'll see what happens today. But I'm looking at Euro US dollar just very overbought on the weekly chart. Let's drop down to the daily chart. And what are we seeing here? So again, guys, so things are telling me that price is slowing as well. So we're in an uptrend on the day chart. You can see this. Yeah, you don't have to be Warren Buffett. Okay, but initially it wasn't making higher highs and we had a bit of selling pressure. Okay, then price pushed up again, made a new high, but then it found a bit of resistance at this level and price was potentially coming back down. But then news yesterday has driven it up further. So structurally, things are a bit exhausted. It keeps finding higher highs. It keeps finding strength at a last high and coming back down. Yeah, did it here, did it here, did it here, and did it here. If it wasn't for the news, price could have still come down a little lower. All right, but news, this green candle here is basically news driven. All right, but on the day chart, things are not so overbought. Yeah, just on the weekly chart, things are overbought. So would I want to keep buying this pair? Because it's so overbought on the weekly chart, I wouldn't like to keep buying it. All right, I would wait to see what the interest rate decision does today and then a trade accordingly. But I know Kev is a scalper. So let's get down to the nitty gritty. So, I mean, everything is telling us up. Yeah, this is the H4 chart now. Yeah, it was finding a bit of resistance here. Okay, potentially breaking down, but then news happened. So we're still in a upward trend on the H4 chart. And then finally, guys, let's go down to the H1 chart. And obviously, all of these are in an uptrend. Okay, so this is clearly in an uptrend as well. But again, this was, news driven. All right. So now we've got a higher low here, and this is our last high. So what would I want to do? It's such a difficult pair to trade today, Kev, to be honest with you, and Gal Gadot. Because of that news, it's difficult to trade. And we've got Fed interest rate coming out later. I think potentially, if these lows hold, if this low holds, I think we could take price back up to these last highs, because we're in an uptrend. If H1 structure, as in this low, breaks, then I think we could take price back down to this last area here. Okay, so that's how I would trade it. Potentially buys up to this level. And then if this low here breaks, then potentially shorts down to this level. All right, so that's what I'm seeing on Euro US dollar. I hope that helps Gal Gadot with her scalping strategy, and you, Kev, as well. Victoria, what's your favorite pair to trade, Tom, out of curiosity? Well, Victoria, I don't have a favorite pair to trade. What I do every morning, so you don't have to, I look through all 28 currency pairs. I don't have a favorite. I like, the US dollar majors because of the spread. The spread is tiny. Okay. And I don't like pound Canadian dollar because of the spread. So there are some things like that I take into account. And pound Canadian dollar could rip your face off and go 200 pips in the space of a couple of minutes, whereas Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar is going to move 200 pips in 3 years. So you need to understand the different currency pairs and how they work. But I don't have a favorite. All I do every morning, I look at 28 currency pairs. Before I do my video to you guys, I look at 28 currency pairs. I also look at the indices. I keep an eye on Bitcoin and gold and oil as well. All right. So this is what I look at. Then I basically do my top-down approach. I look at the weekly chart. I then look at the daily chart. Okay. These give me my bias. If I think after looking at the weekly and daily chart, if I think I can short it, I will. If I think I can long the market, I will. Or the daily and weekly chart just tell me to stay out. Simple as that. So weekly, daily, I then ask myself, should I buy it, long it? Should I short it, sell it? Or should I stay the hell out of the market? So I can do that quite quickly. I can look through daily and weekly charts quickly and analyze them quite quickly. And basically I narrow it down to no trades, 1 trade, 2 trade, 3 trades, 4 trades, maybe 5 trades some days. And then I just laser focus on those 3 or 4 pairs that I can trade. Then I start looking at the H4 and the H1 to really really execute my trade at a good level. Okay, so those gray zones that I plot for you every morning. Once I've narrowed it down to 4 trades, I then go on the H4 and H1 and plot my gray zones. And these are my entry zones, guys. All right, as you know, as my regular subscribers will know, that's what I do every morning. So that's how I operate. I don't trade all of them. I look at all of them, but then only trade 2, 3, or 4 of them and really focus on them. And use the lower time frames to find the best possible entry I can. And I do that every morning, guys, so you don't have to. So if you would like to receive that information and my gray zones every morning, then come join us. Subscribe to the channel, smash the notification button, and also smash the like button. We would love to have you. So Victoria, I hope that answers your question. Tom, when you enter a trade, do you actively watch it or set and forget? Good question, Kevin. I actively watch the trade, okay, because I'm a big believer in reading candlesticks patterns. Yeah. So let's look at an example. Okay, I'm just looking here. All right. So let's imagine I have, on the break of this high here, yeah, I have seen this candle. Okay. This wasn't a trade, guys. I'm just looking at this as an example. But it's a good question, Kev. So it's broken these highs. Let's do it a bit more clearly than that. Let's do a grey zone. You know I love a grey zone. I love Gal Gadot, boxes of indecisions, and grey zones. That's it. And football, but not anymore because France knocked us out. Okay, so let's say at the start of the day, I've penciled in this grey zone, guys. All right, and I'm looking, because of my daily and weekly view, I'm looking for buys. All right, so I enter the market and I say, right, this is my grey zone. If I get a break of this grey zone, I think we can start buying this pair. All right, a bit of a breakout trade, if you like. Then we get this bullish candle form. And I'm like, right, Tom, your analysis was excellent. We've broken this. You're a brilliant trader. I enter here. I'd probably put my stop below the moving average 20 and the grey box. And let's say my target was up here. Okay. So I'm trading a breakout trade, and this is what I'm seeing. But I will then read the candles, guys. I'm not a just sit and forget. Okay. I will read the candles. So once we've entered on this candle, what are the candles telling me? So let's really zoom in on these candles. Yeah. So remember, guys, this was my entry candle. I've entered here. And I'm trading a breakout. Remember, a breakout. I want to see momentum with a breakout. Yeah. Yeah. So price, I want to see start shooting up. And instead, I get negative candle, a not very bullish candle, a negative candle, even a rejection wick, yeah, a doji, and then I see this candle. Okay, yeah, this is a huge bearish engulfing candlestick pattern on the H1 chart. Okay, remember my stop was down here. So if I'm seeing this sort of price action, yeah, with this breakout trade, and it hasn't started breaking these highs, then I'm exiting this trade for a small loss. All right. I would exit on this candle. My idea of a breakout was wrong. None of these candles tell me that we're pushing upwards. And instead, this candle is like the nail in the coffin. I'm like, right, my analysis was wrong. I will close my trade here. I entered here. So this is what I would lose on that trade. Okay. But what I could have lost on that trade was this. Yeah, because it comes down and takes me out. So I actively watch the candles because there's so much information in the candlestick patterns. I know traders that sit and forget, no problem. It's probably less stressful, to be quite honest with you. That's why I've got grey hair. But I have to keep an eye on the candlesticks because for me, all the information I need are in those candlesticks. Okay, so by actively looking at the charts, I have made a small loss here instead of a large loss here. All right, so I hope that explains how I trade, Kev. All right, good question. I like this question. Right, who else we got in? Song Love. What a beautiful name. Very romantic name. Very hardworking, Tom. I am very hardworking. I do all this hard work for you guys. Hamed, thank you so much. I have many courses, but you teach in real ground. Thank you, Hamed. I'm glad you are enjoying this. Yeah, I'm sure there's 1,001 trading trainers out there, but guys, yeah, I like to keep it simple. All the information you need is in the candlesticks, is in the structure of the market, and also your support and resistance levels. You don't need much more else than that, guys. Maybe volume, yeah, but it's all real-time data. Yeah, all indicators are lagging, but I use real-time data. And if you are interested in being mentored by myself, Hamid, then we're running a mentorship program. So drop us an email if you're interested. The email is in the video description. Yeah, and we'll send you the details. Let's have a look. Okay, Tony, sorry, Tony, I missed this question here. I looked at your pound yen trade, but I missed gold. So you would like to look at gold. Okay, let's take a look at gold for Tony, a regular on our channel and a regular in the Discord channel. Gold. Gold's a tricky one. I know that without even looking at it because I've looked at it this morning. So gold, guys, let's start with the weekly chart. Okay, oh, I've just moved my grey zone here. Let me move it back. Okay, so weekly chart, what are we seeing? So gold was clearly in a downtrend. Okay, but then remember, guys, if we don't see lower lows, structure could be breaking down, and we do not see lower lows here. Yeah, we get buying pressure, super duper buying pressure. All right, and eventually this candle breaks these highs. So for me, the weekly structure is in an uptrend. But the problem we have, guys, is we are now at this last high. Yeah, what was once support has become resistance, and we know this is potentially a good level of resistance. So this is what we're seeing with gold on the weekly chart. All right, let's drop down to the daily chart now. Let me have a quick drink of vodka. Okay. All right. So yeah, so these gray zones were those weekly areas that I was talking about. All right. But again, let's look at the day chart. So structurally, we're in an uptrend. Yeah, you don't have to be Warren Buffett. Higher highs. And yes, we will be getting t-shirts made soon with sayings like you don't have to be Warren Buffett. And you can purchase them somehow. We will work out the logistics and you can have a wonderful t-shirt. Okay, so trend is in an structure, it's in an uptrend. All right, but we're at this gray zone. And then yesterday, guys, we had this bullish candle. All right, but again, this is news driven. Okay, it's news driven. And the close of this candle closed just back into our gray zone. All right, so this makes me reluctant to buy this pair, especially with the interest rate decision coming out. Okay, but this is how I would trade it. I would wait for the interest rate decision to come out. All right, and then I would want to see one of two things. So if the interest rate decision comes out and price comes up here, breaks out of this gray zone, breaking this high, yeah, I am looking for longs. Yeah, looking for longs all day. All right. If, however, if we look at the daily structure, if price comes down, potentially breaks this low and even this low, then I am looking for shorts back down to this gray zone and these lows here. So it all depends how price reacts at this gray zone here. Yeah, it's all about this gray zone. And I think we will get an answer today. We will get an answer telling us buyers are in control, we can start buying, or sellers in control, we can start taking it back down to here. But just hold your horses today, guys. Yeah, wait for that interest rate to come out. Excuse me, and then trade accordingly. Okay, but it's all about this gray zone. Yeah, all about this gray zone. What will price do here? Okay, so I hope that helps you, Tony, with gold. Hey Tom, how would you use the relation between different time frames, confluence or divergence? So I'm just looking for confluence. Yeah, I'm looking for confluence. I'm basically confluence is reasons to enter a trade. Okay, and let's go back to one of my trade ideas for today. All right, so let's look at Swiss franc, Japanese yen. Okay, I'm just looking for as many reasons as I can to short this, to take this trade. All right, so all I'm seeing on the day chart, guys, yeah, is a downtrend. Okay, all right, downtrend. We've got lower lows, lower highs. Okay, and we've got a real bearish candle form. Okay, closing back below the moving average 20. Okay, so this could potentially be our new lower high. Yeah, we're in a downtrend. I've got a bearish candle. I think we can take price back down to these lows. Okay, so these are reasons, confluence, that I'm shorting this pair. All right, then I try to understand this on the lower time frames. Then I go down to the H4 chart and I'm looking for more reasons how I can enter this pair. And for me, guys, it's this. I would probably move this gray zone. Yeah, what I'm looking for is a breakdown in price. I can see H4 is in an uptrend. I have eyes, but this last low here, if this gets broken, I think we're off to the downside. Yeah, we have a structure break on the H4. Okay, then I can even come down to the H1 chart. I'm looking for all the reasons for me to trade this pair. Okay, and again, what are we seeing? So again, yeah, price could come back up here before we start shorting this pair, potentially this gray zone through here. Yeah. Okay, this would be a good area for shorts. Or again, guys, a break of this gray zone. And to be honest with you, I want to see a break of this gray zone, and then we can start shorting. So before I've even taken the trade, I know exactly what I'm going to do, Song. So I've looked at weekly and daily to give me the reasons why I'm shorting this pair. And then I drop down to the H4 and H1 to tell me how can I trade it. And for me, this is the trade for today. Yeah, I'm looking at pound yen, which I showed you earlier, and Swiss franc Japanese yen, guys. All right. So, John, do you watch your trade once entered on hourly candle only? Okay, John, yeah, mainly just on the hourly candle. I will drop down to M15 to see what the structure is doing, but mainly the H1 candle gives me the information I know, because M15 can give you mixed messages. All right, guys. And yeah, if you've enjoyed this analysis, I hope you have, then come join us, guys. Yeah, subscribe to the channel, smash the notification button, and also smash that like button. Guys, before we leave, I've got to show you the important news for today. So bear with me. Where are we? Oh, actually, bear with me 1 second, guys. Yeah. Okay. Right. Technical difficulties. Hi, guys. What we're going to do, I'm going to show you the news on here, guys. Can they see this? Okay. All right, let me just talk you through the news, guys. You all know the important news for today anyway, guys. Technical difficulties. This is what we get with live broadcasts. So what we're going to do, we're just going to take a quick look at the news, guys, and then we'll call it a day. Okay. So today, guys, all of these times are London GMT. Yeah. All right. So, guys, the first piece of important news today is at 7 o'clock London GMT. That's been and gone, as you know, and that was worse than expected. So the CPI out of the UK was worse than expected. Let's have a quick look, see how that's affected the pound. Yeah, so this is the pound chart, guys. Not a big reaction because the whole market is waiting for the Fed tonight. If we carry on down, guys, the next piece of important news at 3:30, we've got crude oil inventories coming out. So that could affect the US dollar and the Canadian dollar. And then, as you know, guys, 7 o'clock, London GMT, the big daddy of them all. We've got the Fed interest rate decision and statement and projection. So that's all coming out at 7 o'clock, London GMT. So yeah, and then we've got the press conference 30 minutes later. So that's just as important, if not more important, than the news release itself, guys. So it's all about the news today, guys. I would wait for the interest rate decision to come out, let the dust settle, and then trade accordingly. Okay, guys, so that's it. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please subscribe, like, and share. I hope you have a great trading day, guys,